Yeah, so welcome everybody to our District 6, how to host a walking school bus for your walking road to school day webinar. Today's webinar is presented by the San Francisco Safe Routes to School program in partnership with Walk San Francisco and the District 6 Supervisor's Office and District 6 Supervisor Matt Haney. Before we get started, just want to go over a few housekeeping tips for using Zoom. I know we're all pretty familiar at this point, but just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Please mute when you're not speaking. Feel free to use that chat function to ask any questions or comments that you may have. Also, you can use the reaction function to raise your hand and make a comment. And this webinar is also being recorded. So if you don't want to be recorded, then please, this is an opportunity for you to turn off your cameras now. And thank you for joining us. My name is Vernon. I'm gonna be your host this evening along with my colleague, Sam Kwan. And now I'd like to introduce the District 6 Supervisor. Before, I lived in District 6 for like 3 or 4 years. And I'm really sad to not be there anymore, but I was really proud to have Supervisor Haney as my supervisor. And I know that he's a true advocate for safe walking and just for making District 6 better as a whole. So I'm glad to have him here tonight. And now I'm going to give him a chance to say a few words here.
Thank you so much, Vernon and Sam and Walk SF. I felt like I would just do the full effect and walk while talking, although I'm not sure that's the safest way to do it. So I'm going to be extra careful here and walk very slow. I'm so excited about this effort. I was very involved with Safe Routes to School when I was on the school board. We've worked together on it since I've been on the Board of Supervisors. And the reality is it serves a number of purposes. One is safety. When you are walking to school with a group, with another set of people, with adults, it's safe. You can make sure that folks are looking out for lights and any other things. It's generally a way that you can make sure that kids are going to get to school safely. The other thing that you can do is model good behavior. So when you walk as a group, it allows you to really show, how to walk, and when you're walking and talking on your phone, that you're especially careful, and that you model good behavior around walking. And then for kids, especially younger kids who may, in some cases, be walking sometimes to and from schools with either their peers or others, that they know exactly what to do and how to do it. You can teach good behavior. The other thing is that it gets the day off to a good start. You make sure that you get the blood running a little bit. It definitely, there's a lot of evidence that walking to school actually helps with academic performance, overall social, emotional, physical well-being. If you exercise in the morning, it's a good thing for kids and for families. And I'd also say this is also a way to build community. Everyone is safer, everyone's more connected when we spend time together, when we come together as a group, and it improves our community overall. We get more connected, and our neighborhoods are places where we benefit overall, even if you're not if you don't have kids or you're not going to and from school, when people come together and do this. So I'm excited to, as your supervisor, support this effort. Thank you so much, Vernon and Sam. Thank you, Walk SF. I see some folks here from the Tenderloin Community School, and let me know when that walking school bus is, because I will be there and I will walk with you. I'm always happy in the mornings when I see young people, kids, families walking to and from school. It's the best way to get there, and it's better when we do it together. So thank you. And my staff also is on, Matthew and Monica, who will be here for the entire time, and we'll look forward to joining you on the next walking school bus. And so far I'm still walking and still safe. So.
Hey, thank you, Supervisor Haney. We really appreciate you joining us, and thanks for all those great words. And those are exactly the reasons why we want to host this webinar today, to inform everybody else about those great benefits of hosting a walking school bus and participating in Walking Around the School Day. And we'll get you that information as well. Thank you. So, a little bit more about the San Francisco Safe Routes to School program. We are a partnership made up of government and nonprofit agencies. And those agencies are on the screen, but I'll just call them out in case people are unfamiliar with a few. So we have Walk San Francisco, San Francisco's Bike Coalition, the San Francisco Department of the Environment, Tenderloin Community Benefit District, Tenderloin Safe Passage to be exact, San Francisco's Department of Public Health, the San Francisco SFUSD Sustainability Office, the YMCA, and the San Francisco, the SFMTA. We are funded by San Francisco's County Transportation Authority Prop K funding, and we also get grant funding from the Metropolitan Transportation Commission's OBAG funding. Now, first, I want to talk about Walk and Roll to School Day. And in case you've never heard about it, Walk and Roll to School Day this year is on Wednesday, October 6th. And it's just a day to get out and celebrate walking and rolling to school. It's also a day to bring families together who may not normally socialize in the morning and let students meet other students, and just to get everybody excited about getting to school, walking and rolling. And Walk and Roll to School Day also provides an opportunity for families who don't normally walk or roll, for whatever the reason, to get out and try something new, you know, and they might like it enough to stick with it. It also lets them know that there could be other options to get into school. Walk and Roll to School Day is also a great time to kick off your first walking school bus. And a walking school bus is just simply when students walk together under adult supervision along a recommended route. It can be as easy as meeting at a park or a cafe, and everybody meets up and walks from there. Or you can even have a recommended route that stops along the way to pick up students along the route. Now, Supervisor Haney listed a lot of the benefits of a walking school bus, but I'm just going to run across a few more, and just to make sure that everybody, you know, is fully excited about how much a walking school bus can help your community. So it does provide environmental safety. Families, especially in District 6, we've heard from families that they feel safer when they're walking in those larger groups. They know that they can be seen by traffic and better in those larger groups. They're also, we have more eyes and ears, so it's more awareness for what's going on those streets around us. Walking school buses model that safe behavior. You know, it teaches folks, young pedestrians, how to walk in safe ways, what to avoid, what to look out for, and they carry that with them along throughout life. We know that walking school buses can not only save family's time, but it also helps the students to get to school on time, right? So we've heard from parents that they feel comfortable knowing that their student will make it to school on time and safe, while they can make it to work on time as well. And that's a really great thing to be able to provide to a family or a parent who's struggling with getting their child to school and making it to work, or getting multiple children to school and getting to work on time. Walking school buses build community, right? It's a great opportunity for folks to get out there and talk, and students to get out there and play with students and families that they may have not known before. You know, families that live in that same community, they go to their same school, and they may have never had a chance or opportunity to speak with them or meet them. So it's a great way to build community. And right now, we know that returning to school after COVID, congestion around schools at pickup and drop-off times is really, really bad. And walking school buses are one way that you can combat that. And lastly, they kick off a lifetime of healthy habits. School students are more focused and aware when they're able to get a little fun exercise out in the mornings before school. They're able to pay attention better in class when they're able to get their wiggles out. You know, they're getting a walk to school. It's healthy. It gets them ready to learn and gets them awake. So walking school buses provide so many benefits. And today, we're going to tell you exactly how you can start a walking school bus in your community. We're going to tell you how you can talk to folks to find out what your community needs and how the walking school bus can serve it. We're going to talk to you a little bit about route selection. We're going to tell you how to promote these walking school buses, and we'll even provide templates that you can use in your communities to promote a walking school bus. We're going to cover the public health guidelines because we want to make sure we're staying safe, especially right now with the COVID-19 variants out there. And then we're gonna let you know how you can get all the materials you need to start the walking school bus for free. So first, we want to get out there and we want to talk to our community. We want to find out if the walking school bus serves our community's needs, and those needs could be different. Some walking school buses help to combat truancy. Some walking school buses help to combat truancy. Some walking school buses are just meant, maybe you have a very diverse community at your school, and sometimes, and and we want to bring folks together to meet other families, to be able to associate with other families in the school. It works to build community that way, and that could be one need for a walking school bus. And sometimes it's just a way to get more healthy activity, right? If we have teachers at the school that are walking or biking, they make great volunteers to lead these walking school buses. So we want to get out there, we want to talk to our community, we want to find out why we're starting our walking school bus, and we want to spread the word about it too. Next, we want to think about how we're selecting the route. My colleague Sam leads a walking school bus in District 6, and they start at Elmo's Place Cafe on Turk Street, and they walk to Reading Elementary School. Now, when selecting that route, there are a few options that they could have chosen, and they could have they're all about 18 minutes, same, and a little more than a mile, a little less than a mile of a walk. So they're all equal, but we chose the route that we have selected is based on a lot of things. So we want to take the route that's got the least amount of negative activity going on in the community. We want to take the route that's most accessible for folks who may be in wheelchairs or have other disabilities. And we also want to take the route that's the safest with traffic, right? The other routes that could have been selected, Jones to Ellis Street, is not the safest for negative activity. And then Jones to O'Farrell, we know that O'Farrell is a busy street for traffic. It's not the best choice. So the route in the right that's in the gold box is the route that they've selected. And it goes from Elmo's Cafe, down Turk Street, up Larkin, and they have a preference on which side of the street they walk on to make sure that they're even safer. 18 minutes and they're at Reading Elementary. And also, if you're meeting sometimes, like we said, parks make great locations to start your walking school bus. But like Elmo's Cafe, there's no park, right? So you can provide easy activities like coloring books or quick games for students to play and socialize around. And it's a great way to, still be able to meet up at a safe place and have, snacks and food for the adults while the students can still do some activities to get their mind off school. Now, promotion, we already mentioned, is really key, right? Promotion is very important. You want to get the word out to as many people as possible. And when we say as many people as possible, we mean we want to think about your entire school community. So you want to try to get this promotion out in different languages. You want to use different mediums, not just the school calendar or social media, because people may not be visiting those. So you want to think about physical copies to hand out as well. But you also want to post it in your newsletters. You want to get it out to your PTA. And you want to make sure it's going out like to your ELACs, and you want to make sure you're getting out to every member in your community, because you don't know who else could be benefiting from this walking school bus, right? Sometimes we have one group in mind, but others want to join in on the fun. And we can actually provide these promotional templates to you. All you have to do is let me know that what you'd like, and we'll get you started. I'll send them over, and you can customize them for your own schools. You can insert maps, a little information about what a walking school bus is. You can give the folks your starting time and meeting location, and letting them know what time you'll depart and arrive at the school as well. Now, as we know, right now are tough times, and we want to be really careful to make sure we're keeping everybody safe. And that means safe and healthy as well. And so we have some guidelines to follow. We don't recommend, right now, these are DPH public health guidelines. We don't recommend you having more than 25 participants in a walking school bus. We also recommend that you have 2 leaders for every 10 students. We want to make sure that you're sanitizing your equipment after every use. continue to use your personal protective equipment like masks and hand sanitizers. We want to make sure we stay 6 feet socially distanced. And we know that most schools right now are using some type of health symptom screening. You want to abide by those screenings that your school is using and make sure that if you have any symptoms or your student has any symptoms, that they avoid the walking school bus on that day. Now, you can contact us, myself personally, at vernon@walksf.org, and I'll get you started with everything you need to kick off your walking school bus, right? So I'll provide you with safety vests for your students and volunteers. I'll get you stop signs so that you can cross those streets safely. I'll get you a walking rope that's distanced to students about 6 feet apart to keep everybody safe. We will provide hand sanitizer to make sure everybody's got hand sanitizer to start off their day and in their walk. And then also we'll get you all of that promotional material that you need to get your walking school bus kicked off. And we'll also be there to support you along the way to make sure that it stays successful. Anytime you have questions or you need support, you can reach out to myself. If I'm not available, you can reach out to Sam, and we'll get back to you and we'll help you out. We'll try to fill your needs as best as we can. So thanks for your time. But before everybody leaves, I just want to go, I know I covered a lot. Just want to go over it, make sure we're all on the same page. So first of all, Walking Road to School Day is next Wednesday, October 6th, and we encourage everybody to participate. Elementary through high school, we have events for all of them. Get the word out, please. Let them know. Also, we want to determine if a walking school bus meets our community's needs. We want to plan out our routes based on the needs of that community, making the route safe, fun, and accessible for all. Remember that promotion is the key to success. You want to let others know that you're hosting this walking school bus, and you want to let them know that you need help too. Volunteers are always needed, Follow the public health guidelines, make sure we're staying safe and healthy out there. And also the Safe Routes to School Partnership has you covered. We're here for all your needs. Anything that you need, you can call on us and we'll make sure that you get it. And now I just want to open up the floor to questions. Scott.
Hi, Vernon.
Oh.
Oops, sorry. Go ahead, Scott first.
You got all the supplies. Can we get one of those cool little school bus banners to?
We can't get you a school bus banner, but we can get you a sign for.
I mean, I can make the banner. I just thought that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, well, I can get you something that's really cool. It'll be in multiple languages, and it'll be a way for you to promote the walking school bus at Tenderloin Community School.
Okay, we're having a meeting with parents and caregivers on Friday to talk about school routes and all that kind of stuff, and so I'll bring it up then, and we'll see how. I mean, it may be too soon to do the turnaround time to get it going, but most kids already walk to school.
Well, actually, we have. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Greg Moore or Tatiana.
Yeah, Tatiana, Greg. Yeah.
Safe Passage. So they're with Safe Routes to School program, and Tenderloin Community School is also one of our schools in District 6. So I'll communicate with them and see if you need any help for promotion or getting the word out, and see what we can do.
Okay. Tatiana did bring some stuff to this school. Her one of her sons goes there, and but I usually see her in the morning, so I can talk to her probably tomorrow as well. But that's
okay. Awesome. Anything else? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna. I'm Tina, and I'm not actually in this District 6. I teach over at McCoppin, and I was wondering. We haven't really started a walking school bus. In terms of frequency, would you recommend just once a month in the beginning or weekly?
Actually, frequency depends on participation. Yeah. I mean, if folks are coming out every week, I go for it weekly. And if you could do it every day, I'd go for it then too. But at E.R. Taylor, from experience, for instance, E.R. Taylor is a school that I work with very closely. And we usually kick off Walking Road to School Day. And we start a walking school bus that starts off every first Wednesday of the month. And for some events, we may do another one, or sometimes they'll reach out and say, "Hey, Vernon, this is going on. Can we do something like this? Can you help the students walk here?" But we've been doing that now for like a year or so, and this year I think we're going to try to. It's the first time we're going to try to do it maybe more than once a month, but the once a month is a good start.
Thank you. Also, in terms of planning the route, for example, I don't know, in terms of like the second step, determine the community's needs, like where all the students actually live. Do you have sort of a process you recommend to figuring that out, or finding a main thoroughfare, or?
So I've worked with the family liaison at a few schools to get like, we are outside partners, so we don't have access to that information, like where the students live and stuff like that. But you as you can just talk to other parents and like get that information from, find out like where, if folks are interested. Oh, where are you, to try to find out a location that works best for everybody. But
Sounds
also
good.
those family liaisons are usually pretty helpful with letting you know, like they can give you general areas like where most students are, or if like say that you're targeting a group of students like for truancy, like where they're coming from. So that information is usually helpful. Also, Sam, do you have any feedback on that?
Yeah, usually we like to start at a building, like usually it starts with the outreach, like Vernon said, talking with parents before school and after school, see where they're coming from. You see the walkers right away as they're walking up of like, where are you coming from? And then ask them if they're interested in like a walking group, walking together. And then you start gathering information to get an idea of where their starting point. And you can pick either starting at a cafe nearby or like a playground nearby.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Scott?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that actually, where the school bus to Reading starts, there actually is now a park. It's a small park, but it's called Safe Passage Park, and it was a more than a year-long project to get that as the emergency measure for COVID. But everything in the Tenderloin is neglected, so it took us a year. But it's a great place, and I plug it all the time that I can. And so anyway, I'm just saying that there is a park. It is one of our battles to create like more space in areas that don't have enough space. And I know people around the city want them in their neighborhood too. So it's a model of what can be done.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I just did the walk today. I had a little walking school bus from Reading back over to Turk and Hyde area. And yeah, there's a park there now. We're still thinking about just starting at the building that a lot of the parents meet at, which is right next to the park too, but it's easier for everyone to wait in the lobby together before heading out together.
Yeah.
But totally agree.
Any other questions, comments, or feedback? I wrote down your names and the schools that you're from. I have your emails on the back end, and I'll be sending out an evaluation shortly after this. And also, if you're interested in getting a walking school bus toolkit, please just let me know. Reach out. I'll be reaching out. So, in that email, just respond and, tell me maybe how many students you're thinking, or if you're just interested in getting more support around a walking school bus, let's schedule some time to talk, and we can figure out how we can help to support you.
Sounds good. Thank you for conducting this webinar.
Oh, thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Want to give another shout out and a thank you to the district supervisor, Matt Haney, and his office. Thank you all for joining us and for your support and partnership with this. Thank you, Sam, as usual, and thank Tina and Scott for joining us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vernon. That was great. Great program. Thank you, Sam. Thanks everyone for joining. Awesome.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.